Welcome to Die Rollin. I'm the ever excitable Adam, and today I'm here to talk to you about my top 10 games that I've played during 2023. Now, a little asterisk there because it doesn't necessarily have to be games that were released in 2023. These are games I've played in 2023, and at the end of the year, trying to think of games I've played when I've played games is quite tricky because I've played so many different games. So I had to go on to the board game kind of the app that I use to track what games I've played, and it came around really handy to try and figure out what games I've played. So I would really like to go for 11 games, but I've put it down for 10, and I'm not going to put these in any particular order, but I will do what my game of the year was. So there we go. And I've written down here, so I will keep referring to my piece of paper, which I've got just off camera, just down here, and I'll be selecting my tea as we go through. So straight off the gate, just going from top to bottom. Went to Aircon this year. Had a fantastic time meeting some really nice people, some of which now watch the channel, some of which actually watched the channel beforehand, and some of which don't even know who I am, which is great. And the game that I really enjoyed playing there was Sniper Elite. Sniper Elite is a 1v many game, and I don't like 1v many games because if I'm playing the one, I feel like I'm being ganged up upon, and when I'm playing the many, I feel like the one is overpowered. Sniper Elite is one of the most balanced 1v many games that I've ever played. It's fantastic fun, great theme, and it really captures the gameplay of the computer game. Except you don't get the slow motion bullet going into someone's crotch, which they can't really replicate in a game yet. But yeah, I introduced that to a couple of people at the expo, and everyone was enjoying it. The only thing that I have against the game is there's no screen for the one, so your hidden movement, you kind of got to like hide it from everybody as you're doing it, which is a bit weird. They didn't do a screen. Anyway, Sniper Elite, highly recommend playing that game if you see it in a board game cafe, or if you spot this guy at Aircon, because I'll probably bring it again next year. So Sniper Elite. Next is another game we played at Aircon called Psycho Killer. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Every time I can't help it, that song's in my head. Psycho Killer, great game, is a card game for up to 6 players where you're essentially in some woods. There are one stack of cards which you basically split into 2 decks, and one's left, one's right, and you're like, well, am I going to go left or right trying to escape from the serial killer? You don't have to outrun the serial killer, you just have to outrun your friends. And yeah, whoever's basically the least injured at the end of the game wins. I played this game 3-player when we filmed it on the channel, and it was okay. Playing the 6-player was a revelation. It was so much fun. It's very take that. And you get to a point where one of the guys, Danny, who was playing with us, kept going left, and people were getting really annoyed that he wouldn't do the other deck, and it was just quite fun to play that. So next, I'm gonna skip my game of the year and go to the next one. Next one is Dungeon Saga Origins. My word, I had expectations for this game, but the expectations were exceeded. I played a few, well actually looking at my board game map, I played 7 games of Hero Quest this year. No, 9, sorry, because I did some solo. And yeah, when I've been playing as the kind of dungeon master, it's a bit meh in my opinion. I just feel like I'm there to facilitate other people's games, which I guess is what you do as a DM. But when you're an actual DM playing role-playing games, I feel you interact with people, you get something out of the story, you share in their successes and you share in their failures equally, and it's great fun. Everyone at the table enjoys that kind of stuff. But Hero Quest is always, it just feels, I don't know, a bit basic for me. And Dungeon Saga Origins came in and just blew me away. I love the fact you can interact whilst the players are having their turn. You'd be like, wait a minute, I'm just gonna stop you there. And you can just ham it up as much as you like. If you watch any of our videos, any door opening, I'll go, any point they're supposed to be drawing loot cards, I won't let them draw it. They're supposed to. I will draw it, read it out, and then be like, oh, there's 50 gold coin, but there may be a risk, which is quite fun. It's enjoyable. But yeah, minis are great. I've done a separate review to go over my thoughts on this game so far, so check that out. But Dungeon Saga Origins, fantastic game. Highly recommend playing it. And yeah, it's just fantastic. So yeah, definitely in my top 10 for this year. Next is one I believe was, actually some of these might have been on Christopher's list. I don't know. I didn't see. I was in the other room whilst I was doing his, except for one point where I sneakily came in and got my tea. You might have spotted me at some point. So this is Uprising: Curse of the Last Emperor. This is, I just do not believe this is their first game they've ever made, because it's so balanced and so tight. But apparently it is the first game they ever did. end of the world. You have got the hordes of chaos coming, encroaching in the last bit of civilization. And then the last bit of civilization has the last remnants of the Empire who try to retake control. And in between a rock and a very hard place is the players who are playing various different kind of species, factions, who are trying to work together, but not too close together. Because I'm fairly certain after the game ends, they're going to fight each other. But not too close. They're fighting to try and fend off both the Hordes of Chaos and the Empire. And the fantastic thing about that game is a 4X game, which stands for Explore, Exploit, Expand, and Exterminate. You're welcome, Jack. Thank you. So those 4 different things. It's a co-op. It's fantastic. You don't normally have co-op games for 4X. It's normally a 9-hour Twilight Imperium sitting there questioning your life decisions, how you got to this point. I said I've never played Twilight Imperium, but I've watched people from afar and just shook my head in not disgust, but in just dismay, I think. But anyway, Uprising, Curse of the Last Emperor. We've got some of the expansions they sent us, which is fantastic. So you can spot them on the channel this year. We will be filming some of that for you. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Next is one I played with Will, and that was Witcher: The Old World. I think it's called Witcher: The Old World, but it's definitely the new Witcher game. Chef's kiss. It is so good. They had a great battle mechanic in it where essentially you have some cards and it's a bit of deck building, and every time you're like fighting something, you're doing combos with your cards, and it really feels like a war of attrition. You really do feel like it's thematic. Your character is like trading blow for blow with this huge monster, and you know, it's just great fun. So highly recommend that game. If you get a chance to play it. It is so much fun. Will and I did it on the channel. Really enjoyed it, and yeah, we'll be coming back to that, I'm sure. So next, an oldie but a goodie, Arkham Horror, the living card game. We played Path to Carcosa. I say we, it's me and my brother. We played this. There are, I think, maybe 8 scenarios in the game. We only did 7 because we lost miserably on the very last one. Arkham Horror is a really weird one because I kind of hate it, but I kind of love it. I enjoy it when it's going wrong, but I also enjoy it much more when I'm pulling out the right thing. It can be so frustrating. You can keep pulling out tokens that like screw over your turn and you had a really good idea of what you're going to be doing. Also, people can get so involved in the deck building element of it, and I'm just a bit of an idiot, so I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just like, this card looks good. So there's elements of it I just don't get. But the theme, the narrative, the gameplay, and just being able to share that experience with my brother was fantastic. So we're continuing on our Arkham Horror journey, and you may see some of this on the channel, but we're just enjoying playing it for the moment and trying to remember what the rules are. So Arkham Horror, Path to Carcosa. Out of the ones I played, so I played the original, the Night of the Zealot, I played the Dunwich Cycle, and the Dunwich Legacy, and I've also played Path to Carcosa. Out of the 3, Path to Carcosa is my favourite, so good. Next one I got fairly recently, so there is a bit of a sheen over this game because I have got it recently, so I'm going to be like, oh my god, this game's great. Will it keep hitting the table? I don't know, because the setup time and the tear down time is crazy. Also, Christopher didn't enjoy it when we played it, so that kind of like, whenever I play a game with somebody and they're like, oh, I don't really, it kind of diminishes a little bit for me, but I still quite enjoy it, and that's Cor Space. I did a video for the Hull Breach, which was a pure solo one. That was so much fun, trying to get these guys out of the space station before they were sucked out into space whilst all these like robots were coming in. So much fun. And then the fact that one of the guys turned out to be an alien the entire time, mind-blowing, but very thematic, very fun. I'm going to come back to this and try and play this more multiplayer and some co-op and just see how it plays. But so far, I'm quite excited about it. I love how it looks on the table. I've enjoyed playing it. So Cor Space for me is definitely in the top 10. And we have Maladum coming, which is their fantasy version. And I'm mentioning this now because pretty much everybody who saw the video commented, did you know there's a fantasy version? Yes, I know there's a fantasy version. It is coming on the channel, and I think I even mentioned that in the video. So yes, we will be having that on the channel once this guy has painted it. Thank you, Contrast Paints. Next is a little card game called The Score. This game, fantastic. I did a lot of theatre growing up. I love kind of improvisational kind of games. This is a collective narrative game where essentially you've got 18 cards in the whole deck, and you are coming up with a score that you're trying to do. It's Ocean's 11. It's The Incredibles, if there was a heist scene in that. Anything with a heist scene, this is essentially the game for you. As long as you have an imagination and you can follow very basic rules, this game is a standout. It's fantastic. So yeah, we're going to be doing that on the channel, so keep an eye out for that. And I probably will bring that to AirCon and the UK Games Expo. If you do see this guy wearing this t-shirt or another board game related t-shirt, then come over and say hi and we can get a game of the score out. It's great fun. Great filler game, but also you could play that for quite a lot of your evening. And also, you could keep doing that heist movie again and again. Same characters, just a different setting. It's great fun. My kids also really enjoyed it. Anyway, the next thing. So this is the 9th thing I'm mentioning. Before I get to my game of the year, I would be amiss to not mention Damnation, the Gothic game. Now, I'm a bit biased here because I know the guy, a guy called Chris from Black Letter Games, and he's done a fantastic job at basically re-implementing a game from the 90s that I never even knew existed. You're in Dracula's castle, you're all these nefarious villains, and you're basically trying to survive the night. You're also in limbo, so every time you play this game, they've forgotten all this stuff happens. So there's kind of no point just to keep coming back to the same thing and doing the same stuff over. However, it's great fun. You're going around stabbing people in the back, racing to try and get into the Dracula's crypt so you can then become Dracula, then hunt the people who are racing to get in that room, pushing people downstairs. Matt Warwick from the Offline Gamer, screw you buddy for pushing me down the stairs while I was teaching the game. This guy. But yeah, Damnation, the Gothic game, fantastic. We were due to have that on the channel. I was gonna film that. We didn't have enough people when we were doing it, so we're going to do that when I've got a larger group. But I will put a review up in January, I imagine. So yeah, Damnation, the Gothic game. Highly recommend checking that game out, and the artwork is superb. So that brings me on to the last game of my my 10 this year. And you're probably going to be able to guess this from the amount of content we've had on this game on the channel. But of course, it's going to be my favorite game system, which is Shadows of Brimstone. Shadows of Brimstone, I got when it first came out in like 2016 or something. I didn't back the Kickstarter, so I gradually picked up all of these box sets over the years, spent I don't know how much money on this game, especially when, you know, you've got new Kickstarters coming out and you can only get certain things online. A bit too much money maybe. However, they brought out, like I say, I played when it first came out, shinier things turned up, Shadow sat down in a box, and it was living in my brother's garage for some time. But the channel is ever intrusive in my mind. I was like, do you know what? I want to play Shadows of Brimstone again. And Alex was around, and I was like, let's get this sorted. So I relearned it, kind of, and I sat down with Alex and we played the original version, and it's on the channel going up against Feral Vampires. So much fun. So I was so happy when I realized I'd actually done a $1 pledge for the Shadows of Brimstone Adventures and was able to upgrade that to get just the base pledge level for Shadows of Brimstone Adventures, which is basically a kind of streamlined version of Shadows of Brimstone with a campaign and upgrade for like the town phase and stuff like that. So some interesting ideas, some kind of a linked narrative all the way through, and also 2 really cool themes. I was so excited to play a game with Spanish conquistadors, but you guys at home voted I would have to play with Vikings, who are not especially my favorite kind of theme. However, I've loved playing the Vikings. It's fantastic, especially because the Vikings, the enemies in it are from Viking mythology. Unlike the kind of conquistador stuff, which they didn't really lean into the Aztec kind of mythology or anything like that. Obviously, the Forbidden Fortress, which I know was in Christopher's kind of top 10, that also lent in very heavily into the kind of like Oni demons and the bird guys, Tengu, yeah, that kind of stuff. So I really enjoyed the fact that they've really thought about the theme of it. They've gone for Vikings, they've gone, yeah, we're going to do this, and it's just been a blast to play with people. My favorite video that we've done so far, and I think it was just this year, was Forbidden Fortress. I had such a great time playing with other guys and such a great time filming it, and I think it's just, if I was going to say to you, watch a video Shadows of Brimstone, I'd say watch out Forbidden Fortress, because it's not just me remembering the rules. Everyone on the table has their job, and it kind of is a bit smoother. But Shadows of Brimstone, Gates of Valhalla specifically, is my game of the year. It has been so much fun to play that. It's been great to paint that thing. They look fantastic. I'm not the best painter, but even with a bit of contrast, they look stunning. I would, however, warn anyone from starting to collect Shadows of Brimstone, because it is a system, not a game. And when you buy a system, you're not just going to be buying that base set. You're going to buy a base set and then realize, oh, wait, you know, you're going to look through the rulebook and see there's some lore for some other stuff. You're going to have things mentioned in the event chart, like the Flesh Stalker. You're like, whoa, who's that? And then you'll find out there's a miniature of the Flesh Stalker, and he's got his own little drawings, and they live on this other world. Guess there's other, like, expansions you go. This is one of the most expansive games that I've ever seen, and you will be in a lot of financial difficulty backing this thing or going through it. Especially if you're backing on the Kickstarters, you get so much content, but it's quite pricey. But yeah, if you are after a dungeon crawl, you don't have a system already, Shadows of Brimstone is a fantastic kind of game. There are better ones out there for narrative, better ones that have like campaign, like branching campaign structure. But if you want a sandbox role-playing game that has an interesting kind of twist on just dungeon crawling, you know, if you want to try play Wild West, but like a weird Wild West kind of thing with Cthulhu entities, if you want to do Spanish Conquistadors going against like Valley of Serpent Kings, or if you want to do Vikings going up against fallen Norse gods and stuff, or of course you want to go to feudal Japan and go against the fallen shoguns, then this system is going to like give you years of joy. Anyway, that's me rattling on about those things, but just to reel off again. So my top 10, no particular order apart from Shadows of Brimstone, Gates of Valhalla, which is the top. Sniper Elite, Psycho Killer, Gates of Valhalla, Dungeon Saga Origins, Uprising, Curse of the Last Emperor, Witcher Old World, Arkham Horror, Path of Carcosa specifically because that was great fun, Cor Space, The Score, and Damnation, the Gothic Game. What else do you want? I've been the ever excitable Adam. Please stay tuned to the channel. We've got so much content coming next year. And also, guys, just from a heartfelt thank from me to you guys, and probably I'll speak for all the guys on the channel because, you know, they're not here, they won't know. But thank you so much for supporting us this year, and hopefully going forward, we can give you some stuff that you really enjoy. Let me know if any of those games I mentioned were in your top 10, or if you'd like to know any more about those games, or maybe even see more of that on the channel. Let me know in the comments below. And of course, Christopher, Will, and Alex will also be doing one of these, so please make sure that you comment on their videos, see what they like, you know, disagree with them completely, say, what are you talking about? You're crazy. Or just, you know, agree with them. Anyway, I've been the ever excitable Adam. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, wherever I kind of post this video, whatever seasonal thing is, I wish that to you. Until next time, guys, stay safe or die rolling.